Let's go, Brandon. What? What? Biden, you're a man-child gone wild, so vile, trying to make us move to the progressive left. You got smirk on your face, you big disgrace, kicking our freedoms all over the place, singing, let's go, Brandon. Come on, everybody, let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Come on. Biden, you're a slow man, old man, standing out in front as others pull your strings. You got blood on your hands. Afghanistan, for your BS policies we will not stand. Let's go, Brandon. Come on now, sing it out. Let's go, Brandon. Want some more? You got some more. Biden, you're a sick man, can't plan, hot damn, going down a road we can't understand. We won't let this pass. You got no class. Why don't you pucker up and kiss my ass? Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Everybody, let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. That's it. You get in, you get out. A little Pags parody. Let's go, Brandon. The chant is there. I told him to kiss my ass at one point. What else can you people want?
C&D presents the No BS Show. With your hosts, Chris Mize and Doug Dock. It's the No BS Show. Take it away, guys.
Howdy.
What's going on? First off, like always, start all our shows out. We really mean it. I want to thank all our veterans out there. Without you guys, we couldn't do shows like this. It's in jeopardy as it is, but we really appreciate everything you did to protect our freedoms. All our militaries over and overseas in the homeland, we thank you guys. You're getting raw into the deal on some shit, and we appreciate you. First responders, police, fire, EMS, doctors, and nurses, Doug. We thank the nurses.
We'll talk about them today.
And we'll be talking about that. Just before we get going, right around, I believe 7:30, isn't it, Doug? 7:30, we'll have 7:30 and 7:45. We'll have a couple people on. They'll tell their stories of the bullshit they're going through, Doug.
Yep.
You know, a year and a half ago, we made these poor people work 12, 16-hour days wearing the N95 mask. You remember? They were wearing it for a week, 2 weeks at a time because we didn't have any. Dr. Tenpenny out of Middleburg Heights testified and everything else and got blackballed, especially off Facebook, saying that it doesn't matter. The mask should be changed every 3 to 4 hours. Or dermatology, she's a dermatologist, sets in, all kinds of different, they can scrape a mask and put it in a petri dish and watch different, things grow when you wear a mask past the 3 to 4 hour point. We didn't care about that then, though, Doug. They were heroes.
Right.
Yeah. And amazing what 14, 15 months does. And we're going to hear some horror stories going on right now with the vaccine mandate. We better roll our disclaimer.
Oh, yeah.
Where we'll get yanked.
Like we did in China.
Banned in Japan.
Oh, it was
banned
in Japan.
And China's next. We got all these listeners in Japan and China. But yet, I put up that the time changes from, I was just pointing this out to Doug a couple hours ago. Hey, we're starting at 7. And we got like 200 reached real quick, and we put up for our video on 55.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got more viewers than what it shows. The other thing, we're going to play two things here. One, we're going to give away a large 2-item pizza and Pepsi product from Big D's Pizza in Clyde, Ohio. Dean Henry, thank you.
Mm-hmm. At 8:15, I guess I should set that up too.
Yeah, we'll set that up. It's hashtag Let's Go Brandon. All one word.
Giveaway.
We want to thank Dean Henry for that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a big supporter of this show and the No Speedway show. Big D's Pizza in Clyde, Ohio.
And what's the hashtag?
Hashtag Let's Go Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. As long as you spell it right, capitalization, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
And no spacing. Hashtag Let's Go Brandon.
And then we'll draw the wheel at 8:15. But
go, Brandon.
We heard all kinds of things from the media when Trump was in office. And no matter what the man did, the media bashed him. But I'm not hearing anything about what Biden said. And if you got to watch this clip and tell me, I haven't heard this word 35 years, Doug. And I can't believe that the media isn't saying anything. Black Lives Matter isn't saying anything. Unbelievable.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, Doug's got
Pepsi is actually Pepsi with an I, but go ahead.
Where do you see? All right. Pepsi with an I. Doug, you got that clip?
I do have the clip for you. Ready?
Yes.
Another week of the US president making a monumental fool of himself and the media gaslighting the public in a futile attempt to hide just how incoherent and incompetent the president is. Let's hear Joe Biden be all types of wrong here.
I've adopted the attitude of the great Negro at the time pitcher in the Negro Leagues, went on to become a great pitcher in the pros into the Major League Baseball after Jackie Robinson. His name was Satchel Paige.
And of course, it wasn't long before the media were doing their best to tell you what you just heard didn't actually happen. No, Joe Biden did not refer to Satchel Paige as a Negro during Veterans Day speech, claimed Mediate in their weird fashion of capitalising every single word. Now, let's listen again to what he said, and you make up your own mind.
I've adopted the attitude of the great Negro at the time pitcher in the Negro Leagues, went on to become a great pitcher in the pros.
So, word for word, he said, I've adopted the attitude of the great Negro at the time, pitcher in the Negro Leagues, went on to become a great pitcher in the pros, and the incoherent speech continued on for several minutes after that. Now, President Biden is known for repeating stories about Satchel Paige, the trailblazing black baseball pitcher. When meeting with the Pope a couple of weeks ago, he spoke about Satchel Paige. Didn't bother to bring up an issue like abortion, but he did talk about a baseballer who was playing 50, 60 years ago. It's clear that no matter how much the bulk of the media ignore Biden's mental lapses, his destructive policies, and the grim toll they're having on America, from soaring inflation rate to the border crisis to foreign policy disasters, the media protection racket is not working. That's why Biden's approval rating is now south of 40%.
I don't even know what to say.
I have to agree. I have not heard that word or term used. And
I'm not even going to use it on here. All right. For the simple fact, I do not understand how he's with the Pope. Here's the question while we're on that, and I'm Catholic. Okay, here, how can the Pope if there's any Catholics out there, back me on this. How can the Pope, in good faith, actually meet him and bless him when 3-4 days after office signed an executive order to hand other countries $30 million, Doug, for abortion?
Right.
And then goes to the Pope and says that, and the media, like she says, the media, well, that's not what he said. Well, is this one of them things? Like we get nailed on once in a while, we play a clip like that. You
Right.
guys are given, it's a misunderstanding. What did they say that? You're misinterpreting.
Right.
How the
Yeah, what
fuck
he's
are we
saying.
misinterpreting anything? That's what the man said. And we're not flipping out. Where's Black Lives Matter and Antifa, Doug? Where are they? Trump said, remember this, remember in Seattle, the chop zone?
Mhm.
Trump said, if you don't straighten it out, we're sending troops in there to straighten it out for you. This can't happen.
Right. Right.
Remember the big blow up? You're a racist. This guy says this and nobody says shit. Nobody says nothing. Unbelievable. On Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Did you hear him thank the veterans?
Not in that incoherent sentence.
Did anybody hear Biden thank the veterans? Better yet, Condola. Did anybody hear Condola Harris, the hooker, thank any veterans? She better learn. I hope to God she didn't learn how to walk the street and be a call girl. That's where she's heading back.
She may need to, because things aren't looking good for her.
At all. They couldn't even introduce her right.
Listen to this and listen to how they introduce her, for lack of better words.
Her.
Here we go.
Fox News alert breaking in Washington tonight, where our Capitol Hill correspondent Chad Pergram tells us he's been hearing whispers suggesting there could be some new high-profile confirmation hearings on the horizon in the House of Representatives. Why is this a big deal? Because the House does not confirm normal nominees, but it does confirm vice presidential nominees. Does this have something to do with Kamala Harris? It's no secret she's been running out of favor with the Biden team. Over the weekend, someone at the White House leaked several stories criticizing Kamala for her constant gaffes and awkward laugh. The vice president's office responded to those leaks by leaking a story of its own, calling the Biden team racist. Chad Pergram joins me now. Chad, so what exactly are you hearing?
Good evening, Jesse. Well, there's a lot of conjecture right now about the future of Vice President Harris and her lagging poll numbers. This happened at the White House yesterday during the ceremony to sign the infrastructure bill.
Please welcome Heather Kurtenbach.
In a moment.
The faux pas was probably not intentional, but it underscored issues some have in the Biden administration with Harris. Now, here's a window into my world. As you know, I appreciate congressional process and mechanics. So I got a message recently from someone who knows Capitol Hill very well, and they suggested I should familiarize myself with the process to confirm a vacancy for the vice president in the Senate and in the House. To be clear, this is not something to say that something is afoot here, but I always do my homework, especially about process. Vice President Nelson Rockefeller, who served under President Ford, was the last vice president confirmed by Congress. The Senate and House must confirm a vice president. Jesse?
Very interesting, and we'll definitely stay on top of that. That could be big news if it's headed in that direction. Thank you so much, Chad.
I'm Steve Ducey.
And that's video, or it's all over online that this is being talked about.
Here's the thing. It doesn't surprise me that her camp come out. How screwed up of a country are we? Now we got the vice president's camp saying the president's racist. She said that in the campaign, Doug.
Right.
When she was running for president,
Yep.
She said that several times. Now she's using it here. Listen, if there's any time, stop and think about this, people. If there's any time that she should throw that out, it's right after he said that speech with the Pope. I mean, they're going to Article 25 her. They've already talked about it before. Article 25 will get her out of the White House, and they'll confirm somebody in. The reason why Ford and Rockefeller had to be is because that's when Nixon resigned. Ford moved up and they had to bring in a vice president. So,
and I'm looking it up, and what I see is the vice president is the only employee of the president per se, and so he does at will can release the vice president. Wow.
He can fire her then.
Yeah,
he can fire her. I mean, how can she be president or father? Well, I mean, she was born. If she was born in the United States, she's a legal citizen. Doesn't matter if her parents are we went through this with Obama. Remember, Doug? If she's born in the United States, she's a natural citizen. Doesn't matter if her parents weren't or not. So she's, but the whole thing of it is here we go. You know what the scariest part in this country was in years, and nobody caught it? For 85 minutes Friday, she was acting president.
Yeah, that was pretty scary. I went and hid.
And nobody caught it.
What do you mean nobody caught it?
A lot of people were like, it didn't even faze them. Who did it faze? Did anybody? I didn't see Facebook light up. I'm like, this is one of the most scary moments there is, because they could have turned on him.
Anything could have happened. Anything could have happened.
I mean, but regardless, so their plan's playing out. If you stop and think of this, their plan's playing out. It was called. Biden's incompetent. We see it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Harris isn't up to the job. They're going to Article 25 her. They're already, if he don't fire her, he's going out. I guarantee you Nancy Pelosi comes up in one of them positions.
Wow.
Most scary time in the country. Then you got all these mandates going out. How about the Michigan pipeline? It's not fired up again.
No. What do you do to that?
Well, he shut it down.
Yeah.
He shut it. Well, he didn't shut it down. They're doing research and studies, collecting data.
Mm-hmm.
It's some bullshit. It ain't. They're not putting it in. It's shut down. Then him and China get together to see that, where they release so much oil to be made, and that's why the gas prices come down 20 cents. So everybody's cheering because they're paying $2.99 a gallon.
Right, yeah.
Give me a break. Yeah, it's a joke. Then you go right in. I looked it up last year at this time, before the vaccine in Ohio. Last year at this time, our numbers were at 7,300, I think, Doug, or 7,500. So today, now, how many Ohioans are vaccinated?
The percentage of
Ohioans vaccinated. She probably make clearer calls than what we got up there, Joe. I'd hate to say that.
52%.
So 52%
are fully vaccinated.
Fully vaccinated. So by the statistics that the scientists and the government said at the beginning of this, Doug, our numbers should be no more than 1,500, 1,200, because it was going to knock it down, remember?
Right.
We're at almost 5,600 today. Yesterday was over 6. The day before was over 7. It's going up between 5,600 to 7,300. I'm at a loss of words. I'm at a loss of words. It was the same thing. If we wear the mask 2 weeks, we'll flatten the curve. Remember that bullshit? It's not story.
They're not going to try what they did before.
No, but if we have 55% of Ohioans vaccinated, shouldn't our numbers be, according to what they told us, and the scientists told us, according to Governor DeWine, the scientists and the doctors, if we do this, 55%, shouldn't it be around 1,000, 1,500 max.
Right.
It's not. It's not. So who's bullshitting who? And then we go, which we'll get into in a few minutes. We go into our nurses. We'll go into our nurses. You like my hat? Cat. That's why I'm wearing it. I wore it when they shut the Keystone down. I'm wearing it when they shut the Michigan pipeline down, Ed. Cat. It's the only, besides John Deere, American made. But the problem with that is, you ever hear that? Cat's all American made. You ever hear that story? It's the only U.S. besides John Deere excavator you can get this at. The Cat 345. For anybody familiar with equipment, the Cat 345 had a Mitsubishi motor. Isn't that amazing? You ever wonder why you can't see? Drive down the road when Trump was in office. Drive down the road and tell me what equipment you saw on pipelines in the United States. John Deere or Cat. You didn't see Komatsu. You didn't see, any other ones. Drive down the road and go look at the pipe and see where it was made. Remember, Doug, when Trump took office, the first week he was in office, one of the first executive orders he put in place, all pipe that went in on the pipelines in the United States had to be manufactured in the United States.
Correct.
All equipment that worked on the pipelines had to be United States manufacturers. And hell, I wouldn't care right now if you allowed Komatsus and everything else if they'd let them go,
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. We got any of our friends in the green room yet? All right, let's bring the first one in. This is an STNA. I believe.
Yeah, let me change her name.
Yeah, we're gonna change. Listen, we're gonna change names on here.
How's that?
There we go. We're gonna change names, and we're not gonna have their real names up for fear of retribution. So, can you hear us?
Nurse, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thanks.
All right, we're not even going to ask you where you work or whatever, but
Or even where you live.
Yeah, we will ask you what is your technical position?
I'm a LPN at a nursing facility.
There you go, a nursing facility, and what they've done is you guys have worked when the pandemic started. You guys were working ungodly hours. The nurses at these nursing home facilities and hospitals. We had a shortage of N95 masks.
Yes.
In the beginning of this pandemic. Now it's been said, Dr. Tenpenny of Middleburg. I keep bringing her name up because she's from Middleburg Heights, dermatologist. Facebook went after her for, that was one of the things, Doug, where they had 13 people they were going after because they say she made false claims about masks. And she said that it doesn't matter if it's an N95 mask or not, your mask should be changed anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. After that time period, you were doing more damage to your face, lips, gums, and everything else from the bacteria that grew inside that mask from breathing out. How long did you guys change your N95 masks in the beginning of this? Every 3 to 4 hours?
No, and it wasn't even every week.
Wow.
Yeah. When were you able to change your masks, the nurses in this country? I mean, in our state,
or can you?
Area.
Can you at this point?
Yes. If they broke, you could get a new one. Other than that, you had to use the same one. It was for over a month to many months, so you use the same one.
A month?
Yes.
Was there any way to clean that mask?
They said that we could send them out in brown paper bags and they'd come back clean. And we were given like 2 of them. But no, usually no.
So, Doug.
Yeah.
We made our nurses go through this time period wearing dirty masks.
First with no mask, then
Yeah, first
the
with
dirty
no
mask.
mask, and then shortage of masks. Nowadays, you got your masks. You got plenty of access to masks, correct?
Oh yes, we have N95s and the regular masks. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit, just so everybody understands, what it was like at the beginning of this pandemic, what it was like wherever you worked, and because it seems like on TV it showed a lot of chaos, a lot of people sitting or laying in the hallways, and was it like that where you were at?
No, it nursing facility, nursing home. We were same schedule as always. But you were scared because you just never knew when it was going to hit. When's it going to hit our facility? When's it going to hit? And how many is it going to take out?
And it hit many facilities, so I'm assuming it hit the facility that you were at, probably.
Yes, it did.
Now,
but it did not take out that many people.
No, but what and we'll go back to last year, not now. When that hit, what what kind of, that's your job, Doug. I mean, it ain't like you can, like me, I go to my excavator, seclude myself from everybody,
Right.
come home and not really have to see anybody. That was my job. It
Right.
wasn't, I didn't get up in the morning, nurse, ma'am, I call you ma'am, nurse. I didn't have to get up in the morning knowing that I go to work and I'd have to work 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts or whatever, because it was banging. It was there. And coming home, you had the uncertainty what you were bringing home to your family at the time too, correct?
Correct. Oh yeah, you had it. Most of us had places to change in our garages or utility rooms, and clothes went into a garbage bag, and you went and strictly took a shower and left everything out in your garage, your utility room, and threw all that stuff in the washer, with gloves on. And yeah,
And
it
so
was
how
it was
long
scary.
did this last for this to how long did you guys have to go through this? I mean, before it calmed down a little,
The whole routine that you had.
Yes.
Of wearing all the PPE and everything.
Of coming home, having to change in your garage, or for fear of handing it to your family. How long did this ever quit, or do you still
No,
do
some of
this?
us, no, a lot of us still do it just to be on the safe side, because
So
you never know.
16 months.
Hmm.
And now let's go to what's going on today. So now you're being told, after all that shit, if you don't get the vaccine, you will lose your job.
Yes, you will be walked out.
What's the time period? What
We have to have at least our first vaccine by December 5th, and we have to have our second vaccine by January 4th.
Now, is that like industry wide, or is that localized where you're at or around your area?
It's per CMS, Medicare, Medicaid, and that's for our area in Ohio.
CMS, can you explain to the people out there what that?
Those are the ones that Medicare, Medicaid, they pay the hospitals and nursing homes for the patients, the residents.
Federal government.
Right. Yes.
Federal government.
Mm-hmm.
So, Doug, here's what we got. We got
hold on, wait.
People that were heroes. Go ahead.
Let me ask one thing. It is actually stated to you that way?
It says we have to have our first shots by December 5th and the second vaccine by January 4th, or there will be repercussions.
Yeah, okay. You'd be escorted out the door.
We will be escorted out the door.
Okay.
So, Doug, 14 months ago, they were the heroes. Now, here's where my problem stands. Outside of making you get the vaccine, here's where my problem stands. At that time, Doug, these nursing homes, hospitals, and government couldn't supply these people with the proper PPE.
Right.
Am I wrong on that, ma'am?
Oh, you're right. No, we did not have it at the beginning.
So now they expected them to work through this whole time period without the proper protective equipment. They worked. Never said a word, Doug.
We also got COVID.
They got COVID.
Had to use our own time. Had to use our own vacation time.
Let me ask you this. I'm not sure in your nursing home, Doug. We know a person that was an STNA caught COVID, and at times it was pretty close to our group at Sandusky there at Speedway. Got COVID, and you know what? You know what they told her? Well, you're not getting off. You're not getting any time off. You're going to work the COVID wing. Remember that, Doug? You're working the COVID.
Yes.
You're working the COVID wing. We're not giving you time off.
Yes.
So we put these people through all this shit. Now that the government, and in my mind, the government feels it's under control a little bit, even though it's not, Doug. It's under control. Now what we're telling the same people that they couldn't supply the proper protective equipment, PPE to, made these people have 2 masks, wear them for weeks at a time, send them off in a brown paper bag. Are you shitting me, Doug? How sanitary is that? Am I wrong? Right. How sanitary is that? But now we tell them, you know what? Fuck you. You either get the shit or we're walking you out the door.
Oh, I gotta take a break here. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Doug's leaving. So here's what we got. Here's what we got, nurse. You guys have got different requests going in to basically not get the vaccine. A lot of these requests are getting denied. I seen not. I don't know if it's under a nursing home you work for or not. I don't want you to answer that. But we seen a list of, one of the requests was you wanted exempt from the vaccine because it was tested with aborted fetal tissue. Then I seen this list come out. Well, there's got to be 50 medicines on there, including aspirin, that was tested in aborted fetal tissue, and you got to sign this paper, and there's a bunch of bullshit underneath, and basically if you sign that paper, you're going to get nailed because everybody's taking aspirin in their life, But the requests that are going in for your places, how many of them are getting denied? Do you know?
At my place, I do not know. We do not have a policy at this time.
For request for
medical requests or religious requests or religious exemptions or medical exemptions.
Exemptions is the word I was looking for. Okay. So now what we have, and ma'am, I just bear with me for a second. I want to go back almost a year ago in February, Doug. Remember in February? Me and Doug were on this show crying like little girls, saying, pay attention to this bill that's going in. Pay attention to this bill that's going in. The bill went in at and was passed at 5:00 at night. The next day at 3:00, it was passed through Senate, signed in. The bill was the government manufacturers of the vaccine shall not be held responsible for any reactions, side effects, including death. You can't sue the government or the manufacturer. Remember that, Doug?
Yep.
Along with that bill was in there. At any time, an employer can mandate the vaccine for his company. And if you refuse to get it, you can be terminated with no repercussions. Remember, Doug, we were screaming about this. Boom, passed. 4 months later, they started talking. Everybody was upset. Well, here's what happened, ma'am, is that bill went in. The federal government mandated, Joe Biden mandated executive order to bill in any federal funding and federal employees and any federal funding for anything, that place and the federal employees have to be vaccinated or you lose the funding.
Right.
So what you're doing is you know, like Ohio just passed Friday. I don't know if anybody's aware of this. It went through Congress and Senate. I think it'll be in State House. I'm pretty sure it'll be passed Monday, but there's different exemptions. They loosened it up. Am I correct, Doug? The way they worded that.
Yeah.
There's different exemptions and everything that can get you out of it.
I can give them to you. Medical contradictions. So if there's a medical reason that you can't take it, natural immunity, which if you've had it, most likely you have some immunity to it. Reason of personal consciousness, including religious convictions. So back in the day, there used to be conscientious objectors to going into the military. Well, now you have it here.
But the problem is, here's the problem. You fall back to that bill that passed in February and what he mandated in. Now, a hospital or nursing home can say, we ain't doing it. They lose all their Medicare and Medicaid payments, Doug. And we can't fight that. State can say you can't do that, but the federal say we can do whatever hell we want with their money. We ain't paying it. Now, there is hope outside that state bill. November 6th, the Federal Appeals Court put a stay on the mandates. So you guys know this. And this could help you. The stay was put on that they can't do anything with the mandates yet, Doug.
Correct.
Now, yesterday, I believe, it was said them arguments will, and the stay was until they come to proof that, okay, we're going to hear these arguments in front of the Federal Appeals Court or, you know, the Supreme Court, or we're not going to hear these. Yesterday, they put it out, we're going to hear arguments. So now there is hope for the nurses. And the hope is you better pray to God that you better pray every night you go to bed that the Federal Appeals Court, the Supreme Court, hears that case and overrides it.
Definitely.
Then that bill that passed goes away. You know. So, you know, my suggestion is this. Well, while we're even to this point, because we got a goofball president administration that wants to go to socialism. You know, I'm going to tell you guys this, and that was a question asked in the room, ma'am. I'm going to tell you guys this. This was handled completely wrong. I believe Trump had a plan saying, listen, get the vaccine if you want it. Don't get it if you don't want it. That's it. It's your choice. You know, let's say we got 312 million Americans, Doug. I don't know what it's 350 or something, actually. We got 200 million vaccinated right now. I believe if that mentality kept going into play, we'd have 280, 300 million vaccinated people. But when someone tells you you're going to do it, when they put you in a communist state, and then Biden and administration, like these nurses, they've had it. Some of you guys have had it 2 times.
Yes.
When you put them in a situation like that, it's wrong. It's their choice. They're dealing with it every day. They're taking it home to their families. Now to say, you got to get it or you're fired. We know one person that's working at a care center here in Sandusky, and next week's show, I guarantee you, we'll have the people here, or we'll have a phone conversation with them this week, because they did call me back and I missed it, of why. It's a Catholic Charities. Toledo Diocese runs this nursing home. Why? You know, fetal tissue testing, and they're throwing that shit out, Doug. It don't matter. And this is a Catholic Church.
So let's talk about the bill that actually we were in there. We were actually communicating while the bill was being voted on. But
Yeah.
it did pass in the House. The bill itself prohibits employers from requiring you to be vaccinated if you meet those qualifications that I just said. There are some exemptions to that, and that's if you work at a children's hospital, an intensive care or critical care unit of a hospital. So if you're looking this bill up, this is going to be crazy, but it's true. You need to look up House Bill 218. It says extend bar hours, exempt bars from statewide curfew. That's where it's at. It's in that bill.
And you're going to look it up and say the same thing Doug did. They were in session, and I was texting, wasn't I, Doug? Texting our state representative. Right. He's texting me back, and he says, House HR 218. Doug looks it up and tells me on the phone, this is about bars. So right. Listen, dude, I text him. No, it's House Bill 218. You got to da. He looks it up, and the first thing, like Doug says, you're going to see about bars and their hours, and then down in there, you're going to see where this bill actually comes up. So, I suggest all the people in our group that we do have and the nurses, you look up House Bill 218. But the problem is you're excluded from that House bill because of Medicare, Medicaid funding. And that's where it's very important. The hope you guys got, and I think you're going to see this mandate of December 5th, Doug, go away, and it's going to get moved back a month here pretty soon. The hope that you got is the Supreme Court of Appeals refutes that. They refute and rule it unconstitutional. Now, what I did say, Doug, and maybe she's on. You guys need to contact the law firm 1851. They're constitutional lawyers in Columbus, Ohio.
1851.
And you need to get them. You need to get them on your side. And they do everything, I believe, Doug. Don't they do it pro bono?
Yeah.
So it's not going to cost you, but you can't go with 2 people, 3 people. You got to have 20, 40 people as a group. And right now, in my opinion, for everybody listening out there, right now is the time to jump on that bandwagon while the Supreme Court's going to hear this, while the House and Senate's getting ready to vote on that House Bill 218 this week, if they haven't already voted on it. I haven't heard anything, but I'm sure it will be tomorrow. This is what you need to do. Until then, God bless you, ma'am. We're with you. We're with you. I mean, there's not a lot we can do. When all this shit went in February, Doug, remember we said this is a terrible thing of what's happening, what they're doing now, and then 4 months later, everybody started screaming, and we're like, "This is terrible. It's gonna wipe you out. It's gonna hurt a lot of people." We're behind you.
We appreciate it.
The nurses and the doctors, even, and firefighters, all your first responders. And nurses and people that work in nursing homes, STNAs all the way up, we're behind you. You guys were the heroes. They shit on you. The government didn't provide you what you should have been provided in the beginning of this, and now they want to shit at you, and it's not right, Doug. It's not right.
Correct.
Research and stuff. So, ma'am, we got the other person in, Doug.
Yeah.
Ma'am, we really appreciate you coming on.
All right.
And we'll be in touch with you in that room and updating you, probably tomorrow when it passes the Senate. I'll get and God bless you guys. That's all I can say. We're with you.
We appreciate it. Thank you for fighting with us, for us.
Yep.
No problem. Thank you.
It's such bullshit, Doug.
Here's the other thing. The employer shall make a good faith effort to provide equitable employment for an employee who refuses a COVID-19 vaccine who cannot claim an exemption because of whatever. So I think the hospitals and nursing homes and all these places are just ahead of the game a little bit, because we got our hands on a kind of a, if you signed off on the vaccine or not vaccinated or whatever, basically said, if you don't want to get this vaccine, we're going to work with you, do everything we can, but it could create you moving shifts. It could create moving you out of a certain department and things like that.
Hours, everything.
Yes.
What you're going to do is this. They're not willing to get in a fight right now, and I'm guarantee you, because of that federal judge, the federal stay, and now it's going to be heard. They're not willing to get in a fight with you, but they're willing to make your life very miserable.
Right.
To run you out.
Right.
Hello.
We got Nurse 2. I was going to put Nurse Ratchet, but I didn't want to do that to you.
Ma'am, you're in a nurse home facility, or?
I do both nursing home and hospital.
Okay. Same situation. You said you wasn't getting a vaccine.
No.
And what's come about with that is I believe in one nursing home, you basically were told that, get this, Doug, she was told, well, you can stay until we find a replacement and you're gone. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Wow.
How the fuck do we do that, Doug? How do we do that?
Bizarre. No, did you heard that, like, from local, like, the CEO didn't put that out, did he? I hope not, or she.
No, that's coming from my friends that work there.
So as soon as your replacement's found, you're no longer on that staff.
Right. As soon as they find your replacement, you're gone.
So well, wait a minute. What's the date on, like, did they say by a certain date?
They did not.
They didn't give you a timestamp when you had to have the vaccine by?
They actually moved it back. We were supposed to have the vaccine by October 30th, but it had been moved back.
So what date now, do you know?
At the nursing home, I do not know. At the hospital, we have to have it by December 5th.
It's right in line.
Well, I can see that coming, where I guarantee it gets moved back again, Doug, because of this ruling yesterday that they're going to hear the case now. These hospitals and that are going to. The worst part about this, the last standout you guys had give in, and that was the Cleveland Clinic. They gave in. Now they're mandating a shot. So now here's my question to you. Just like the last person, what kind of fear factor? I mean, you don't want to get the shot, and I understand that. That's your personal choice. Everybody's personal choice.
We're not saying you, but
yeah, but people. What kind of fear? Well, people don't want to get the shot. That's up to them. It's clearly, we've always said this, Doug, that it's personal choice.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be forced down your throat. You should get it or not get it. That's up to you and your family. But what kind of fear at fucking Christmas, Doug? At Christmas, okay? The same people, this woman, the other woman, you guys went through the whole shit show of not having the proper protective equipment and working every day through this pandemic, catching the virus, going home, changing clothes in your damn garage or whatever because you got kids, you don't want to spread it. Some people slept in tents in their garage for weeks, Doug. Slept in tents, stayed away from their families, and went and helped other people. And now at Christmas time, of all times, now they're shit because you're not going to do this. We don't need you. So my question is this: outside of the vaccine, the shot, everything else, what kind of fear factor is it in a person's head that has a family? You know, I don't know your situation, ma'am. Don't want to know your personal business, but I'm assuming your income that you work every day helps feed your family and pay your bills.
Mhm.
Now, what kind of fucking stress, Doug, are we causing on this poor woman right here and the other poor and all the other ones, knowing that you might not have a job in 3 weeks?
That's the question I want to pose too. Is when I go to the hospital, I put my trust in doctors and nurses to know what they're doing, be able to take care of that. Knowing that generally nurses may have to go get another job. They're worried about their job. They're dealing with the COVID stuff. How stressful? Explain how you get through the day.
How do you sleep?
Yeah. How do you sleep with this?
It's really stressful, especially like you said, it's getting around Christmas time, not knowing if I'm going to have a job or not to provide, Christmas for my kids. It's stressful. The whole situation is stressful. Having to, for the last couple of weeks, I have been out trying to find a backup job just in case I don't have a job, and having to, not knowing where my income will be coming from. It's hard.
Let me ask, hold on. How many years have you been in this field?
I at the nursing home, I just celebrated my 16th year.
Wow.
So listen, Doug, hold on a minute. 16
Nobody's saying
freaking
anything.
years. 16 years. And not being real personal, you don't have to answer. How old are you, ma'am?
I'm 42.
42 years old. And now what our government and what our hospitals and nursing homes are saying, you know what? Screw you. Go find another career. 16 years this woman's dedicated to our elderly people in nursing homes, Doug. And we don't care now. We cared last year. I should say the government, not say we don't care, but we cared last year. And you're right, Sean. We got a nursing shortage as it is. We had one going into the pandemic. Now, now what do like a meme I put up on my Facebook page, with Forrest Gump. I'm not a very smart man, but right now ain't time to be firing nurses. Who's coming in? Clearly, clearly, they haven't found her replacement yet, Doug.
So obviously you've talked to, you've got groups of nurses and you all talk and the first question is, from March of 2020 to today, the whole cycle that took place, what are you saying? What are your friends saying? How's it making any sense to anybody?
It's not making any sense to any of us, honestly. Like I said, even I do have friends that did get the vaccine, and they are even like, I don't know how they can mandate this on everybody. So yeah.
I got the vaccine. I got it in early April, before all this shit hit. And I'm fully vaccinated, both shots. But I can tell you this. I'll stand with anybody side by side that is against it, because the simple fact, it should be a choice. And what we're doing to the healthcare, it's bad enough this is flowing out into the private sector, Doug. But what we're doing to our healthcare workers is wrong. And we need to stand up to this. And once again, we all better pray that the Supreme Court, federal Supreme Court, when they hear this, we won one battle. They're going to hear the case.
Mm-hmm.
And we better pray that they hear this case and override these mandates. That's the only shot that these people have, Doug, because once again, the Biden administration, and we know it wasn't Joe Biden because he ain't smart enough to tie his shoes. We already see what the vice president, she's not much smarter. She wears slip-ons. That's how smart she is, because she ain't got to tie them then. So it's somebody else is pulling these strings. They were smart when they did these mandates and passed this bill in February last year, and they were setting it all up. And if you dig deep, I guarantee you the pharmaceuticals had a lot to do with it.
Now, there's a nursing association that nurses belong to, right? Is there an organization?
STNA's Nurses Union.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Is there anything coming back from that group to protect or guide people?
Not that I have heard.
You know, once again, you guys need to get a hold of 1851 in Columbus, constitutional lawyers, because here's my argument to this. And I don't want to piss nobody off more than they already are, but stop and think about this. Here's my argument. The Biden administration mandated that on these people that have put themselves through hell the last 18 months. And there's no other way to look at it. You go home every night worrying about if you're bringing that shit home to your family because it doesn't show up for 4 days, 7 days, whatever. You don't know. By the time you know, your family's contracted it, maybe, whatever. But you go to work every day knowing this. A lot of people worked in the COVID wing. When they got COVID, they went and worked in the COVID wing. They weren't allowed to go home, which is complete bullshit, but whatever. And now you're no good because you won't get the vaccine. And Biden administration mandated every federal employee, this, that, and the other. If you're a contractor, you're receiving Medicare, that company has to do this. But why are not the post office workers, Doug? Why is it not a mandate to them?
That's a good question.
How can he mandate this on all these people that put up with this for 18 months? The reason why we kept going, and then tell 600,000 employees with the union, well, it's everybody but your group. Why is Congress and Senate not mandated to have the vaccine, Doug? Anybody ever stop and look at that? This is something that a lawyer firm like 1851, and let me tell you something, if you get a lawyer firm and that bill's repealed in the Supreme Court, you guys need to file a class action lawsuit against the government for the undue stress that he just put you through. Am I wrong, Doug?
No, not at all.
I mean, at Christmas time of all places. Listen, I really appreciate you coming on here. Doug, you got any more questions that you'd like?
No. Any final thoughts from Nurse 2? Uh-oh, you got a dog.
Doug says, bullshit, she ain't getting off yet. But
your doggy has something to say.
You know, my final thoughts on it, ma'am, are, you know, I'm in a group with a bunch of nurses and STNAs and that. And my final thought is this, you know, we're not lawyers, me and Doug, we're not lawyers. We can come on this show and say all we want to say and everything, but you got to stick together is the main thing. Because when people flake off, I get, if someone goes out of the fear of Christmas coming, you know, I got a family and that, and they get the shot, I understand where that fear factor comes into play, but they still need to maintain it. It should be a choice. And you know, I'll be praying for you, you know, and in that group, we'll do all we can. We'll talk to the politicians that we know and everything and keep fighting for you. And you know, if you guys need anything, let us know on this show. I mean, we'll pray for you every day, you know, and I believe that there's a higher power that'll straighten us out someday. We just wondering why he ain't straightened it out yet, Doug.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you know, but ma'am, for what it's worth, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving and, you know, someday I hope your mind is at ease and can concentrate on your family and be happy again, because I know what it's like to be stressed out about if you're going to have a job at Christmas time, or your kid's going to get presents under the tree, or you're going to have to pay a light bill or house payment or rent. And you know, I don't want to see anybody live through that, especially, you know, you people that served this country. And that's what they did, Doug. They served this country in a fashion nobody else was stepping up to do, and taking chances on their own life and family to help people that needed it. And you know, we'll be praying for you. We'll be in touch with you in the group. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All
All
right.
right. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Unfucking believable. Unbelievable that we just, you know, and here's what pisses me off. All right. Here's what pisses me off more than anything. We sat there last year and we started saying, watch this shit. This is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to do. And they pulled the great American, you know, Alakazam because they passed out stimulus checks. Remember, Doug? The stimulus check was coming. People were getting money.
That none of these nurses got any of it.
No, people were going to get money. They were getting money, so they weren't paying attention to what our government. In a 30-hour period, it went through Congress and Senate. 1,400 pages. Who the fuck reads 1,400 pages in a 24-hour period?
Right.
And then goes and consciously votes. You know, this is like a stimulus bill. Doug, it went through what, 6, 7 o'clock, 8, 11 o'clock, 11 or 12 o'clock on a Friday night, Saturday afternoon at 11, 12 o'clock, 12 hours later, boom, it passed and went through. There was 1,600 pages. And we're sitting here. I mean, I feel bad because, you know, I know I'm going to work tomorrow, Doug. I know I'm going to work next month. I know I'm going to work the month after. I know Thanksgiving's going to be good. I know Christmas. But yet, if I get sick, and I want you people to think about this, if you get sick and you catch it, the very people that our government is fucking over is taking care of us. They're the ones taking care of us.
You are right, Mr. Mize.
And all we can say is, as a government, don't care. Get the shot or lose your job. Don't care what you did for us. It's kind of a common thing with this administration. To our military and our veterans and all the people serving in Afghanistan. Don't care, we're pulling out. Did you see that shit I sent you? Where Biden said, you got that?
Yeah, no. But I will tell you this: we'll stay on this. We're in a group with them, and we will we'll keep you updated here as to what happens.
It's.
You sending me stuff?
No, I just got a message.
Did you?
People are certainly not allowed to comment on our page.
Is it Japanese or Chinese?
I don't know, but it's. I'm pretty sure you're going to get some Facebook jail time if you ain't allowed to comment.
Oh my God! Jeez, and we haven't even touched some of the subjects here.
We haven't even really got into anything. You know, here's the situation. This is plain fact. Fact. This isn't misinformation. This is fact of two people in the nursing industry. Two people, what they're going through. But Facebook, don't dare comment shit. Facebook they don't want this information out. The government don't want. They could give two shits about your feelings, just the agenda.
Right.
That's all they care about. They don't give a fuck how you feel. They could care two shits about your Christmas, your holidays, your kids, and your family.
Because they are well taken care of. They're in a gated community.
Yeah. They're in a gated community. They get a check every month. Federal government shuts down. Our service members don't get a check, Doug, but our Senate, Congress will get a check.
Right.
They're the first motherfuckers that shouldn't get a check.
Right.
You know, our Supreme Court's going to get a check, and they better act right on this. What they're doing is wrong. The numbers ain't jiving with what they told us, though. The numbers ain't jiving. You know, 55% of Ohio is vaccinated. And the numbers were 7,500 last year at the same time. Our numbers should not be fluxing between 5,600 to 7,200 a day.
Right.
Were we lied to?
And many times over.
But we were lied to about that. Or the numbers, remember, if we get vaccinated, we can beat this.
Mm-hmm.
We can bring the numbers. The numbers ain't going down. Now, oh, you got to get a booster. Oh, we got another variant coming out. Oh,
Maybe we could do another Vax-A-Million for the booster part.
I want my fucking $100.
$100.
You give out $100 and some shit for people who went and got shots here not too long ago?
We can only give away a pizza. We don't have that kind of money.
Well, I'm talking about Mike DeWine.
Oh.
Tap into the rainy day fund, motherfucker. Send me a check for $100.
He said he did that.
Yeah. Yeah, Robbie. It appears we are. 6 months ago, I told Doug Doc right there, sitting right there, never happened. Never happened. We'll stand up to this shit. This is bullshit. Never going to happen. 2 weeks ago, I had to fucking eat my words. You know, I believe, Doug, you might be right. I believe you might be right.
Occasionally it happens.
You know? Yeah.
And it's still not happening. It's really still not happening.
No.
You got a little bit of an uprising, but you don't have anything that amounts. You got a 1%. Rittenhouse. You want to talk about Rittenhouse?
Yeah, let's talk about him.
Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse. If anybody doesn't know about this story, then you've been, I don't know what you've been doing. Not watching TV, not watching news, not watching social media. Social media has really took this to a different level. First of all, he went to, where was it he went to?
Kashan or whatever, Wisconsin.
Kenosha, there
you go.
And he killed 2 people or 3.
And injured 1.
Okay, killed 2, injured 1. Allegedly, he was going down there.
White males.
Yes, they were all white male.
Yes.
He was going down there to set the thing. he was going down there to set everything right, I guess. But he got kicked
he was here.
Go ahead, because I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. Just
they had a white cop shoot a black guy, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, go to town, tear it up.
Right.
There was 3 car dealers. They destroyed in 2 dealerships, destroyed the cars, burnt, was burning. They're peaceful protest style. Okay.
Right, I remember
that. A so-called militia is what they're saying. Group was hired to come in and protect the 3rd dealership. It got bad. His mother brought him. He was 17 years old. It got bad. He started getting chased. He was getting kicked, everything else, shot 2 guys. The 3rd guy was coming in, shot him in the arm. The guy's crippled in the arm, So they indict him.
And what kind of weapon did he have?
A
rifle, wasn't it?
An assault rifle.
Okay. And he got hit by a skateboard over the head or something?
He got his ass whooped, dude.
Okay. So he was protecting himself. So he shot these guys and killed 2 of them, wounded 1.
Yes.
So he's on trial, and the first idiot to pop off was LeBron James.
Oh, yeah.
And saying that, that crying tactic, he just ate a bunch of sour heads before he went in.
Motherfucker that throws a ball through a hoop like a trained seal. Trained seal in a water park does that. SeaWorld. Go watch SeaWorld.
Right. So then the and when he did that, me personally, I seen really true emotion coming out. The kid's scared. What, he just turned 18?
Yeah, just turned
during
18.
the trial. And
facing life in prison.
Right. And so, I kind of felt bad for him at that point. I didn't know a lot about what happened. Then he was found not guilty on all charges. And That was really raw emotion there. That was just
Yeah.
pure.
And before we go on, Kel's got a good point. The dude he shot in the arm that lived had a pistol.
Okay.
So it wasn't like they were walking up to him, wanting to hold hands, saying kumbaya and praying the guy. They had malicious intent to hurt the boy.
Right.
So
then he's found not guilty. And honestly, did you watch any of that?
Not much of it.
There was some really, really, really raw emotion in that. A kid about fell down. He couldn't stand on his legs.
They had to take him out of the courtroom for a minute and bring him back in.
Right. Well, he fell down almost onto the floor. So Biden was asked what he thought.
Yeah.
And he says,
well, let's go back. Biden called him a white supremacist last year when it happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Then he says that he is angry and upset and frustrated as anyone else.
But he's got to go what the jury says because.
Right. First of all, why would the president of the United States even make a comment on that? Let your team make a comment on it. I'm not going to make a comment on it.
I love Greg Miller's comment. 2020, fuck around and find out, champion. You ain't shitting. But here's our president of the United States saying that. Right?
If the president of the United States, even Joe Biden, if Joe Biden said something about Chris Mize today, you live with that. The president of the United States called me out. Now, if it's good, I guess you'll be fine. But if he just takes you and just says you're a white supremacist, what do you think?
Well, he should have no comment on it, period.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. When you comment on something, it's just like when you're watching the news and they say your name. There's something about that just gets inside you. And you hear the president of the United States say your name and then say what he said. How does that kid move on from that? The president of the United States called me a white supremacist, doesn't even know me, knows nothing about it. We didn't even have a trial yet.
The president of the United States put a price tag on that kid's head.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
And right now, Rittenhouse lawyers are going to be suing the president of the United States. He was not the president of the United States when he made the white supremacy comments, if you can remember. That was way before the election.
Right. Okay, so that's what the whole slander was, or defamation. Yeah.
So, and I hope he wins. So
I do too.
What you have is now is we got to do a drawing in a minute, but
okay.
Let's go, Brandon. Hashtag Let's Go, Brandon, for free 2-item pizza and Pepsi product 2 liters.
Put it in there.
For Big D's Pizza. Dean Henry. So, what you have now is everybody saying he didn't even live in that town. He come into that town. Well, the son bitch that had the pistol got his arm blown apart. Didn't live in that town.
Probably half the people that were there that night.
The 2 other people that got murdered or shot or whatever you want to call it didn't live in that town. Over half the people, Doug, there was 80 to 90% of the people that come in Antifa, Black Lives Matter, didn't live in that town. But we're not hearing about that, are we?
No. I'm waiting on you to bring up your main man.
Who?
Bubba Wallace.
I'll talk about that in a second. But remember a few weeks back, this is what irks my ass about it all. A few weeks back, when the truck drivers said they were going to shut down. Remember, it was a month and a half ago, maybe. Truck drivers threatened to shut down. Different states, California being one. If they shut highway down by doing this, we'll charge them with a felony. Remember that?
Yes.
And most of the politicians in Washington agreed, correct?
Yes.
They shut the Brooklyn Bridge down yesterday. Stop traffic on the Brooklyn Bridge. Was there any arrests? So we have two sets of standards here. Okay? Two sets of standards. And the worst part of it is, it wasn't a black on white crime. It was a white on white crime. At the end of the day, it was white on white, Doug. Period. End of discussion. 2 white guys were killed. 1 was wounded. It wasn't, so you can't defend yourself no more in this nation. So when they come in to riot, you got to let them burn everything down, tear everything up, and just sit there and watch.
Right.
Is that where we're at in the country? A peaceful protest. Right. The whole country. So was Seattle, Washington. Yep. Tammy got censored. She's probably going to end up in that place you go to about once a month for 30 days, Rob.
For what?
I don't know. I'm not sure. They will not let her comment. She said, screw that. She got censored for it. That's what we've become.
Let's give away a pizza.
All right. We're going to
I hope you got your hashtag in before you got censored.
I think she did.
Let's go, Brandon. Hashtag let's go, Brandon.
We ought to just give the pizza to her. I tell you what, Dean Henry, is Dean watching? I haven't seen him. He's supposed to be watching. He's giving a pizza away. You know what, Dean? Go ahead, do the drawing.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, he's
on. All right.
She's just staying a little quiet today.
Dean's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He's saying, "Screw that." She got something.
I don't like getting involved in any of that. Let's go, Brandon. So this is a large pizza, 2-liter Pepsi. Is that what it is? 2-liter Pepsi
From Big D's Pizza in Clyde, Ohio. Dean Henry.
Clyde, Ohio.
Thank Dean. He's been a great supporter of us over on the other show for all year. And we really appreciate him. He watched our show on here too. Yes. And let me, before we draw, Doug, let me say something.
You can say it.
I really appreciate this more than the other show, Doug, because this is kind of a controversial show when you start talking politics, businesses, but Dean's doing, he don't care. And I appreciate that, Dean. Shows us. Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
All right, here we go. And if no bull comes up, we'll redraw.
Yeah, no shit.
I thought you might want to.
Tammy won.
Dude, that's awesome.
Everybody's, it's rigged. We're gonna start hearing on this show now. Tammy, get a hold of if you're allowed.
Right. Try private message.
Try to private message Big D's Pizza in Clyde, Ohio. Yeah, I'm glad she won. Just saved me $20-$30 or whatever it was, because I was going to say, give her one too, Dan, on me. I'll come over and pay you, because saying screw that, she got censored.
Oh, boy.
Huh? She got censored. Screw that. I bet she's walking around kicking her dog and everything else. Fuck Facebook. Watch it. You'll get 30 days like Rob. He said, blow it up, make it a glass factory. Got 30 days.
Right.
Rob said if he poops wrong, he gets 30 days. So thanks, Dean Henry. We really appreciate it. Congratulations, Tammy. I don't know where this country is going, Doug. Nobody does. We got an incompetent president. A vice president's about to get fired to Article 25. We don't know who the next one might be. Could be worse than what we got. We got a vice president worried more about immigrants going across the Poland border than immigrants coming across the United States border.
Yeah. Well, just think Walter Putin is going to have to make his move here really, really quick because there's elections coming up, and he knows that.
Yeah. And it's too late. It's too late. They lost Virginia. Over in New Jersey, a truck driver spent $2,400, $2,300 for a campaign and won. Beat a 20-year seated member, president of the Senate. It's turning. And what's funny about this is we had to hear for 4 years our election processes were tainted. Remember that, Doug?
Mm-hmm.
They're tainted. Russia interference, this, that, the other. Biden wins, and a week later we hear the most secure election they ever had. Our elections are going to be secure. Virginia gets taken over by a Republican. What do they cry?
Yeah.
It was tainted.
Yeah,
it was tainted. We got it, but yet we say, the election process in the United States was tainted. Then we get branded troublemakers. False information.
It was tainted because Cantala and Waldron went there.
Yep, there you go. There you go. No, Kyle, Kale, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to take it. Please don't shoot me, is what, it's, me and Doug argued over the stand your ground law in Ohio when it was passed, 7 months ago?
Right.
And this is why.
What was that?
It was a stand your ground law. If you feel threatened, you can shoot.
Yeah. I disagreed with that.
I don't. Here's a situation. What do you do in this situation?
He first of all, he's not standing on anybody's ground. He's out there just doing
standing
whatever.
On ground.
But if you're on your own property and you're in a eye-to-eye battle with somebody.
Here, let me ask you a question. You guys really want to get into the process and blame? If you really want to put blame in something, that town's police basically went and hid, Doug. They asked the militia to help them. They asked the militia to help them. So now let's get into Bubba Wallace.
First of all, refresh my memory on what occurred with Bubba Wallace.
Well, we're at Talladega Speedway, and 30 doors, garage doors, they pull down. Got a rope.
Okay.
And got a pole on it.
Right.
Which all of a sudden Bubba Wallace said was a noose. Somebody tied a noose in my garage. Well, never mind the 29 other ones, right? Okay. So at the time when we had all these peaceful protests going on across the country and fires everywhere and destruction and looting, right, Doug? Peaceful protests.
Yeah.
FBI agents weren't going and investigating a lot of that. 15 FBI agents investigated a pole rope. And that's what they determined. It was a pole rope to shut the door. It wasn't a noose. Well, no shit. All you had to do is walk down to the next 6 doors and could have determined that.
Yeah, but it was just like tied so you can pull it, right? It was.
Yeah, and they said it was a noose.
Yeah.
So, you had NASCAR backing them and everything. Well, let's go back a few months before that when NASCAR wasn't running. They were doing the virtual racing on TV, and Kyle Larson makes a comment, not knowing his mic was on, makes a comment, says the N-word, does Buddy, not the driver, Kyle Larson.
Yeah, but wasn't something like the drivers are.
No, he says, I am talking to one of his buddies.
Right.
And they had the mic keyed up. So he gets a year suspension from NASCAR, remember? Kicked out of NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
Kicked out. Bubba Wallace goes on and makes a comment that if this was, I don't know the exact quote. I had it up on my page, basically saying if this was a black kid, 17-year-old kid, he had already been in prison for life and derogatory comment. Now, I'm a Denny Hamlin fan. I was. Okay, I've been a Denny Hamlin fan for years. I'm not no more. He's team owner. Michael Jordan. When have you ever, in my life, I've never heard Michael Jordan jump in on a race game. And when Michael Jordan played basketball, he played basketball. He didn't care if you're white, black, purple, whoever. You were competition to him. He walked out on that court. He wasn't about all this other political bullshit, nothing. He was about playing basketball. That was his job. He got paid to play a game. He owns the other half of that team. Now, they need to do something. They need to do something. And I can't believe Kurt Busch is going to drive in their other car next year. They need to do something, say something. Furthermore, you want to talk about reverse discrimination. And that's a bad word in today's world. Reverse discrimination. How can Kyle Larson get suspended for a year for saying what he said? But Bubba Wallace and the things that he said in the last 4 or 5 months and then the shit he caused last year and what he said, how is there no repercussions? Might be, Jays. He must see my red. How can there be no repercussions?
You're right. You're right.
He's a disgrace to the sport. He brought Richard Petty down.
Yeah, just to say something like that. So, especially when you had issues yourself, why? I don't understand.
He's not even a good driver. He's not even a good driver. And you know the worst part about this? He talks about white privilege and stuff, Doug. So, okay, let's take that for a second. When he talks about white privilege and it's tough being black, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can call him Colin Kaepernick Jr., right? He's half white.
I'm surprised he hasn't chimed in.
He's half white. Bubba Wallace is half white, half black. So what? Yeah, and his fiance is white. So what story can he give me about being a poor black kid his whole life? He's half white.
Well, the black half was.
I'm just saying, I'm not being a smart ass. I'm just saying that. So I'm getting sick of this. Have you noticed some of the major players in the sports industry that are speaking up are half white? Kaepernick's half white. Kaepernick never lived in poverty his whole life, ever. I'm not sure about Bubba Wallace's past, but Kaepernick lived from a very financial sound family. That's where he come from. Bubba Wallace, I don't know. But you drive a fucking race car. Honestly, I can tell you this, Doug. I can go find 5 people right now in short track racing just around Ohio that can drive that fucking race car better than him.
Mm-hmm. Right down to Sandusky.
There's a reason why he's in that car.
Yeah.
And NASCAR better do something, because I'm going to tell you something right now. NASCAR's jumped on the bandwagon. They got off the bandwagon a little. They started losing the crowds. You know, I remember I was talking to Mark, I think, about this earlier today. Martinsville, couple-year wait to get tickets. Bristol, you had to wait 4 years on a waiting list to get tickets, hoping somebody didn't renew them. Daytona was always sold out. All these tracks are sold out. They're not no more. You can walk up to Bristol the day of, buy tickets, go and race. That's unheard of. And if you're from the grassroots days, that's unheard of. You know, it's unheard of. Gary St. Amant, Chaz, at Gary's age, could go drive better than Bubba Wallace. You know, I can name 5 people. But why? are these major sports players chiming in. Jim Brown, remember what an activist he was? Jim Brown was an activist back in the day.
Yep.
Jim Brown's even said, you get paid to do a job to play football. You don't do that on the field. You do it on your own time. You don't do it on the field, or you represent that team. You're getting paid to do a job. Franco Harris had the best comment I ever heard. Franco Harris, one of the best running backs that ever played football. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I don't care if he's from Pittsburgh or not. I met the guy personally a couple years back. Remember, I called you, Doug? I was all excited.
What's
Franco
his name?
Harris. Franco Harris.
Yeah.
And Franco Harris made the comment when they started kneeling. If I was still playing football, I'd kick their ass right on the field for kneeling. That's not the place. Bubba Wallace is using his popularity that I still to this day, I'm sure if he raced at Sandusky Speedway, it'd be a good laugh for a lot of people, because I'm sure I'd be coming across the radio saying a lot of stupid shit to him, you know. But why are they doing this? LeBron James puts a ball through a hoop. He's not even the best player that ever played, in my opinion. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. Them guys beat the living shit out of each other in the game. Anybody remember the Celtics and the Piston games? When Isaiah Thomas and Lambeer and Bird and all them played, Robert Parrish? These guys now, LeBron James gets smacked or something. You talk about crying. Yeah, whatever. Bubba Wallace should be banned right now. He should have to sit for his comments that he made. The man was acquitted, found not guilty. He wasn't just acquitted, he was found not guilty on all charges. If I was Rittenhouse, 2 people my lawyer would be contacting with letters. Bubba Wallace, and the other one would be Joe Biden.
They are doing something. There's defamation cases coming up.
And one should be a Bubba Wallace. Go where the money is. You know what? You want to teach Denny Hamlin?
There goes Chaz Clark's gonna go again.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're done. You're done, Chaz. See you in 3 days. But we're not responsible for what you write over there. We don't care, but when they boot you off, don't blame us.
Right.
But there's no place. I don't even like addressing it on here. You know what I'm saying? I don't like addressing it because, like I said, you go to SeaWorld down in Florida. It used to be over at Aurora. You got trainers trained to train a seal to throw a ball through a hoop and catch it. And this motherfucker is going to sit there and try to preach his shit. Like I said last week, where was the media when they caught at Cleveland? What was it, the Cleveland Indians game? Where was the media that caught his wife lighting up a blunt? Where was all that?
Right.
It is what it is. I whatever. Richard Petty's downfall was Bubba Wallace. I'm telling you right now. Richard Petty's downfall was Bubba Wallace. I still respect Richard Petty for what he's done and everything, but he lost a little with Bubba Wallace. What's the next subject?
Well, one that we're going to talk about next week, because I just seen it now, and we're going to have to touch on it, is that the Keebler elf, Mike DeWine, he signed into law a new map for congressional districts.
Oh, he changed it?
Yeah, so that kind of throws everybody that was campaigning into a frenzy, because they're going to have to change over where they're campaigning now.
Did our area move up here with Swearingen?
No.
Huh? You sure?
Are you above Norwalk?
Yeah, we're north of Norwalk.
Yeah, I know that. There's a line right through it. I don't think it's Sandusky, but you're like really close to Jim Jordan's district. You're like
we could get
one county over.
Yeah, he's here in county, and it stopped. Dropped my cigarette.
Jesus. Oh no.
Oh,
We'll be able to watch the fire department.
yeah, it wasn't lit.
All right. So here's what's going on in our world.
Okay.
We sent a first of all, I seen this online, so I had to get involved in it. So if you have children in school, listen to this.
Oh,
This school district does this, and it's in Ohio. And I don't know if your school district does it or not, but this week, starting tomorrow through the remainder of the week, the name of the school is Frederickstown.
Frederickstown.
Yeah.
South of Mansfield. It's the home of Kokosin Construction.
Okay. So they're giving a survey to all their students, and they're going to, I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know what they're going to do with this information.
This one Paquita would head up too.
Yeah. So we sent an open records request over to get a copy of the actual survey that they're taking. Let me find out. Let me go back to exactly what I asked. I asked, I'd like to see a copy of the questionnaire that's being taken by the students. Would also like to know when the results will be tallied, distributed, and what the information collected will be used for, and what steps are being taken to assure anonymity, and how is this information going to be stored? How is peer pressure being removed from the equation of taking this, I put test, but it's a survey. What's going on is they sent home a thing with the students. Your parents have to sign off. Yeah, they can take it, or no, they can't. Somewhere along the line, they're going to have to divide these two groups somehow, or are they going to just distribute these in the class? And oh, Tommy, you can't take it because your parents said you can't. So I want to figure out how they're dealing with that. They have not responded to any of it yet, other than saying that they are putting the data together and they're going to send it to me. But I did go to the website where this survey is coming from.
They're going to send it to you.
Huh?
They're going to send it to you once they get their information together, right?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, okay. And we haven't heard from Dwayne Moore yet.
Dwayne Moore.
Norwalk City.
Oh, yeah.
Board.
Yeah. So this question is mostly about drug and alcohol. Do your parents punish you when you break the rules? Have you had trouble with the police? Do you take part in gang activities? Have you had thoughts about committing suicide? Do your friends use tobacco? Do your friends use alcohol? Do your friends use marijuana? Do your friends use prescription drugs not prescribed to them?
Shit, I failed every one when I was in high school so far, but go ahead.
Have you, do you smoke one or more packs of cigarettes per day? Used e-cigarettes, vape pen, e-liquid, whatever. Have 5 or more drinks of alcohol beverages once or twice a week? Have you used prescription drugs, over-the-counter drugs? Do you use inhalants? Used heroin, steroids, ecstasy? These are all individual questions, by the way. There's about 60 questions on this thing, and it's all about at what age did you first use tobacco, drink alcohol, smoke marijuana, use cocaine, use inhalants? So it's kind of accusatory.
Let me ask a question before. Hold on. Everybody in this room is pretty much middle-aged on here. Now, when we were 17, if we got this questionnaire, would you have lied and said no on most of that? Just say yes in the comment section, or no if you'd have told the truth. Because it's a yes for me. I sure the fuck wouldn't have told them that. Nope.
And so
I could have been stoned out of my mind filling that up. Nope.
So if you are somebody who's honest and you're going to fill it out because you feel that's what you need to do. If I'm a teacher, I'm a little bit smarter and I know how to collect those so that I know kind of where everybody was. So I
you
can
start at one side of the room and go down through.
Yep. So do I feel safe in the classroom, in the cafeteria, in the halls, in the bathroom, in gym, on the school bus, at school events, in the parking lot, on the way home from school?
Look at the room light up. Look at the room.
These are yeses, you would lie.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, come on.
I agree. I agree. I would too. But
I sure the fuck wouldn't. You know, because the next thing you know, what's going to happen? Oh, it's a private survey. It's anonymous. Yeah. Yeah. And then she collects it just like you said. Next thing, I'm going to principal's office. There's my mom and dad sitting there. Do you smoke marijuana? Not today.
No, so some of it's vehicle safety. How often do you wear a seatbelt?
Well, state of Ohio knows that I don't wear mine frequently, but go ahead.
They have the records to prove it. So this is the 2018 version of the Pride survey, and we will eventually at some point get the actual test that they gave.
Yeah, because there's transgender shit and all that on there too, isn't there?
Yeah, I heard there was some sexual stuff on there as well. Which bathroom do you prefer to use? Do you feel comfortable using it? So that's coming your way soon.
Here's the problem. You already seen the room light up. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the problem is this. He didn't honestly do any of it. I ain't gonna lie to you, I did. You know, some of my best test scores in high school is when I was stoned. You know, got a test today. You know, right before I went in class. But I mean,
that's kind of why I want to ask the question: what are you doing with these results? Because it's meaningless to do anything. You just want to know that you. Because let's say your theory's right, and everybody, or let's say 60% of people is just going to lie about it.
Yeah, you're never going to get a true result.
Right.
Listen, even in today's world, I mean, come on, any kid with common sense, and I guarantee you, I stick my two sons in there, they're going to say, oh, bullshit.
Right.
You know, they're not going to, they could have been stoned. I mean, both of them used smoke pot.
Stoned while they were doing it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I found out the one was, he got an ass whooping. I mean, I was pissed, but, why? You want to do a true survey? Do it like okay, pass these papers out. You go up, you put it in a box.
Mm-hmm.
In a box mixed up, you take it away. You're not going to get a true reading on what drugs are going through your school or what have you. You're not going to get a true reading on anything. It's because people are going to lie. I know I would. I'd lied on every single question. And you know what my reason for lying would have been? Thinking, man, if my dad found out I was doing speed, he'd beat my living shit out. My dad found out I snorted and tried coke, he'd beat the living. No.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Right.
I did not inhale. Yeah, I inhaled. Listen, my generation, I'm 53 years old, Doug. You're not far off me, and a lot of you guys ain't far under me.
Okay.
My generation, listen, 60%, if not more, smoke pot, dude. Come on. We took speed. We hit it. I remember hitting acid when I was in high school, going across the street to Phillips's apple orchard, throwing apples at each other and see all the psychedelic colors coming. Whap, hit you right in the forehead, and you're so stupid you look, throw another one because of the shit you were seeing. I mean,
wow.
Who didn't? But
yeah, we did see that just as we were coming on.
We seen that as we were coming on, Rob. We just don't know anything about it yet, so we didn't really bring it up. Where's the justice there? Where's the justice there? You know what they're going to say? This man was upset about the verdicts. Who gives a fuck? He ran a Christmas parade and ran into 30, hurt 30 people, if not killed any. I don't know. You know, it just come out 3 minutes before we come on. It come out. You know, but where's the justice going to be? You know, whatever. It's a fucked up country. So, anyways, Doug, I would lie.
And I take
it's like an application for a job when we're 20, 30 years old. Yeah, there it is. An application for a job. Have you ever smoked marijuana? No. And it's just like that thing we seen going to the nursing home, that one group of nursing homes about religious exemptions. You know, if you've tried, I'm just going to name a few off: aspirin, Tylenol, Motrin, ibuprofen, Pepto-Bismol, Prilosec, Zoloft. All of them have been tested with the aborted fetal tissue. And they want you to sign saying you never used that, or you're not going to use it, and you're going to be tested pretty much in the next 10 years for the use of it. What? How do you lie about that, though? You take the paper, throw it in the trash. That's a religious exemption. And just so everybody knows, one of the nursing homes in Sandusky is run by the Toledo Diocese, overseen Catholic Charities, Doug. And we will talk to them this week and try to get somebody on from over there on our show. I doubt it'll never happen. This hits close to home to me. I was adopted as an infant through Catholic Charities. So I want answers. As a Catholic, I want answers on why they're doing this to these people at these nursing homes. This nursing home they have. I want answers on how you can turn your back on the very people that saved your ass and a lot of other people's. It's not a Christian way. Wouldn't you agree, Doug?
I agree.
It's not a Christian way. It's a hypocritical way. The same way that our president can go see the Pope on 4 days after he's sworn in, gives $30 million out to countries for abortion.
Yeah.
We have a clip. We'll play it next week. That one where Biden was running for president a few years back, Doug, younger, and said about Afghanistan. Remember that? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
This is exactly what the man said. I didn't say it. Doug didn't say it. And we'll play the clip that we got. So Facebook, you kiss my ass because it's fact. He said it. There is no way you can withdraw from Afghanistan in even 8-9 months. Remember that? That's what he said. Even if you left every piece of equipment there that we had and pulled out, it'd take you 6-7 months. And why would you leave that there to fight maybe your kid coming up in the future? This is what he said. We'll get into that next week. And what'd he do, Doug?
He did exactly what he said he wouldn't do or shouldn't do. Unbelievable.
Percocet.
We'll talk about this next week too. See how close he comes to.
Yes. What's Blystone saying?
Nothing like a rhino putting the screws to our own party. Let's go to swine.
I tell you what, elections come up in November. You got to push everybody you know, to vote. Bakita is a long shot, but I think he's gaining a little ground because Bakita can't be pushed around by either party. And we're finding out the same thing. Our governor, running for governor, Blystone, isn't going to be pushed around by either party, and you're seeing them gang up on him. Doug, they tried to say you didn't even vote in the last election.
Yeah.
Oh, we must have pulled 2 pages together when we flipped them. What? You know, you should have known that was his district. They should have checked that 3 times.
Right.
He had to literally call them, go there, where him and his wife and his son voted together, and find that to prove that he voted. Fucking scamming bunch of bastards. And Mike DeWine, that son of a bitch, you know. I wonder what Fran's cooking for Thanksgiving.
You know, we're probably going to find out here soon.
Nah, good side of the Cleveland Browns, Doug.
What? Oh, yeah, they did a nice thing.
Very good side of the Cleveland Browns. I lost faith in the Browns. I wouldn't, but I tell you, after today, I got a lot more respect for the Cleveland Browns club, the organization. They give $100,000 to the family of Max Soviak, one of the 13 service members that was killed. That was from Berlin Heights, Ohio, my hometown. And they were up there today and received it and everything. And a very great gesture. The Cleveland Browns. I wish our administration had the respect that, you know, the Browns had for the family.
Right.
Our administration still ain't said their names, Doug.
Right.
Yeah. You know, Mike DeWine ain't got a shot at getting in. But then again, you never know. We didn't think Biden had a shot.
You just never know, because you know what? Just like you found out, people close to you don't even know what the hell's going on.
Not in the slightest bit. You know, there's ways to do this. Robbie Cisco just sent me. There's ways of doing this. You know, there's ways of talking to somebody. And I'm finding out, Doug, this is the best way to do it, that isn't aware of everything that's going on. Nothing. They only believe what they might see on TV or what they're being told.
Right.
They just keep going.
Or they watch it and it doesn't really resonate.
It goes right by them. They got things going on in their life or whatever. So when you go and you talk to somebody and they say, oh, that's bullshit, you know, first reaction in today's world, you know, you're a fucking idiot. I don't even want. No, tell them. Don't believe me, but do you know they did this, and this? Don't believe me? Research it.
Right.
Go research it, and then come back. Talk. What do you mean? Well, yeah, they're doing this, and this, but they're telling you it's this. Just like $6.4 billion in Afghan resettlement that was supposed to just be a bill only to keep the government running until next month. Different stuff. The EPA bill, the voter bill, this bill, that bill. They're not aware of that because shit slides through in the middle of the night. And there it is. Boom. It's in. And then when it hits them, they're like, what the fuck is this? Well, this is shit we were telling you about months ago. You know, unfortunately, we're a small show, Doug. And I guarantee you, Facebook will try to keep us and YouTube a small show. We're not Einsteins. We're no geniuses. We ain't smart as some bitches on the shelf either, you know. But it seems we got a habit of bringing shit up. Finding shit, bringing it up. And, you know, you people might listen, but nobody else paying attention. Then when it goes through and the bill passes, 2-3 months later, there's an uprising. What the fuck is this? Something we told you 4 months ago to call you congressmen about.
Yep.
So
we've been on for 2 hours.
We need to get off.
And,
but I want to thank once again the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
That was a great gesture, and it shows you at least care about our military. And you know, as much as I don't like Baker Mayfield, Baker had, you know, Max's name on his shoes right after that happened. If you guys can remember, he had a tribute to Max Soviak on his shoes. So, you know, I got a feeling he was a little bit behind this, you know, and But I want to thank them. I want you guys to listen up. Pray for our nurses. You know, we got a group that we talk to. Pray for them because they're getting a shaft. Just to remember, it's just like a right to work law. And I know I'm getting a little bit of shit over that. You know, right to work law, it doesn't guarantee a person a good wage. What it guarantees, a person can bid on that job and outbid you price-wise. That's all that guarantees. So the next time you drive over a bridge in a right to work state, just remember that bridge was built by the lowest bidder to work for that labor part of that job.
Right.
It wasn't skilled trade that got him there. He was the lowest amount per hour. It's the same way with the nurses. You got skilled nurses done these jobs 16 years, for example. STNAs, LPNs, RNs that's done this job their whole lives. And they're being replaced with what, Doug? Think of that the next time you want to go to the hospital or the doctor's office. What are they replacing the nurses with that they're throwing out? That's dedicated their whole lives to this.
Right.
Through the pandemic, slept in garages, changed in garages, you know, took it home to their families. Pray for them. Everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Hope everybody's safe through the weekend. Hope you got your turkey.
So, 7 o'clock.
We'll be going at 7 o'clock from now on. Other than that, got anything, Doug?
I have nothing. Nothing.
God bless y'all and God bless America.
See ya.